Greetings, everyone. This message is most particularly for those who reject any assertion that consciousness or mind precedes matter. Now, science confirms that we shed millions of skin cells each day. Therefore, we are constantly shedding skin and regenerating new skin. Similarly, we see snakes shedding their skin. Of course, they shed an entire layer of skin at one time instead of microscopic amounts of skin at a time as humans do. This is evidence that this fleshy form we call the human body is not us in reality. Life is not the form or flesh. Life is within the form. Incidentally, I accept that we completely regenerate our cells every 7 years. In my organization, we accept that significant forces take place, or should take place, within humans every 7 years. It is called the 7-year cycles, and they run 0 to 7, 8 to 14, 15 to 21, and so forth. But we'll digress on this for now. We trust, so far, we have proven, or at least compelled you to consider that this flesh is not life for humankind. How could it be life for humankind if it sheds? We don't shed life, brothers and sisters. We simply shed skin. With this in mind, we move to our next point. 99% of the human form is made up of 6 elements: oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. The other roughly 1% is iron, zinc, magnesium, and other trace elements. The human brain is 75 to 80% water, and the rest is lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, salts, and other soluble organic substances. All known elements are listed on the periodic table. Last I checked, there are 118 elements on the periodic table. Now, please listen to me very carefully. Which elements on the periodic table have consciousness? That's right. None of them. None of the elements on the periodic table have consciousness. No combination of elements has consciousness either. I understand why it is very difficult for some to accept consciousness as preceding matter. Yet, as difficult as this may be to accept, we should not ignore simple, verifiable fact. Therefore, since none of the elements that our brains and our bodies are composed of have consciousness, this proves that consciousness does not come from matter, because matter is made up of the various elements on the periodic table. Since this proves that consciousness does not come from matter, the only logical conclusion we can draw is that matter comes from consciousness. This being said, the proof that consciousness or mind precedes matter stretches beyond this assertion of mine. But in order to get my viewers to consider my claim, I felt it necessary to prove my point using this particular argument. I've addressed consciousness as preceding matter in other videos. Again, just to be crystal clear, none of the elements that make up the human form or brain have consciousness, and no matrix of these elements, no matter how complex, has consciousness either. So let us not get frustrated, impatient, or arrogant and revert to asserting that mind or consciousness comes from matter, when it has been proven that this is impossible. We trust we have compelled you to consider that your form, including your brain, is not the source of consciousness, because the elements that make up your form and brain don't have consciousness. Plus, as we said in the beginning, we are constantly shedding skin. So certainly this fleshy form is not us in reality. I trust I have been clear and concise. This message contains nuggets of wisdom knowledge from my master teacher, Dr. David M. Berry. If you are impressed to respond, we only ask that you do so clearly, concisely, and politely. Thank you for your time and consideration. Love and harmony, Brother Osiris.